Hey, what's up, YouTube? You already know it's All City Live TV, and thank you for tuning in. Today we're covering the third part of a four-part series in where we cover every single badge. We go through a little bit of a review on every single badge in NBA 2K20 after patch 8, and we decide whether or not these badges are overpowered, underrated, or completely useless. So what we're going to do today is we've already covered finishing badges and defensive badges. We're now on our third part of this series, and we're gonna go into shooting badges because I know a lot of you guys are goats out there with these shooting badges, and a lot of you want to figure out whether or not you should equip a particular shooting badge out there. How is it working for you guys after patch 8? Now, I'm making these videos to hopefully create dialogue. It's not about me talking or you guys listening to exactly what I'm saying. I'm just giving my thoughts on particular badges, on these shooting badges. Like today I'm going to give my thoughts on these shooting badges from my extensive experience. Today we're going to be hitting Superstar 2, so I have a ton of games played. I also play Pro-Am and I also play Rec, but we live stream every single day, hours on in, so I have a lot of experience playing NBA 2K20. Not only that, I've been playing 2K since the first release on Dreamcast, so I understand the way the developers work. I understand the core mechanics of NBA 2K. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna jump right in to the shooting badges. So let's get into that. Progression, badges, and we're gonna go right into the shooting badges. Don't forget, guys, I'm going to have timestamps. There's gonna be timestamp links in the description below, so you guys don't need to really sit through the whole video. You can click on the timestamp link and get to the badge that you're most curious about. So let's get right into it. As you guys can see, I'm very limited in my shooting badges. I have 10 shooting badges. Yeah, I have 10 potential upgrades, so I had to distribute that in a way that it works for my type of player. I have a two-way slashing playmaker, and I've seen some slashing playmakers and two-way slashing playmakers shoot amazing out there as if they're offensive threats or just pure sharpshooting type of builds, but they really do have these builds that really shoot amazing. Unfortunately for me, I didn't really create this build to shoot at a high level. I made it more to finish at a high level, and I wanted to be able to shoot off of the catch and shoot, you know, running with good teammates and get into positions to catch and shoot the rock. So this is how I made this build, and the first badge on the list, whether or not it's overpowered, underrated, or completely useless, is catch and shoot. Catch and shoot is one of my favorite badges. If this badge was not in the game, I probably wouldn't hit any shots with my two-way slashing playmaker, but since equipping catch and shoot on gold, I've hit plenty more shots with my two-way slashing playmaker. Keep in mind, I'm not making, again, like I said, I don't know if I said this earlier, but maybe during one of the outtakes I said it, but either way, I want to repeat myself on this. I'm not making these videos for you guys to kind of just say, well, what is he saying? Listen to what he's saying. No. Use your discretion. I use these badges for my particular build, and I'm only kind of giving my opinion on these badges from my experience that I have playing NBA 2K. So catch and shoot on gold, absolutely amazing. I feel for my build is overpowered. A lot of you guys don't even use the catch and shoot option, so it may not even be considered an overpowered shooting badge for you, but there may be people out there with builds like myself that are saying, why can't I hit any shots? Well, try putting on catch and shoot, and you may consider it overpowered as well. The next badge on the list is clutch shooter. I want to make sure everything's working properly, levels is good. All right, clutch shooter. I've seen this badge in action. I wouldn't say it's an absolute must or go-to badge. If you got a ton of badges to spread around, then you may consider the clutch shooter badge for them clutch moments. It activates in later later times in a part game, and it also activates, if I'm not mistaken, let's go into, I'm pretty sure it's the second half or the fourth quarter, and the fourth quarter or any overtime periods of of a Pro-Am, Rec, or My Career game. So clutch shooter, I've seen it in action. If you guys are out there and you're noticing that people are hitting way more contested, and it feels like 2K is just trying to give other people the win at your expense, then that's because they may have the clutch shooter badge. Toward the end of these games, people are hitting way more consistent, and you're like, what is going on? How are they hitting these shots when they seem completely contested? The other day, one of my homies, Tanner, he completely got the guy covered, 100% coverage, and the homie hit the shot. So maybe clutch shooter was a factor in that particular situation, but you guys may want to consider the clutch shooter badge. Whether it's, matter of fact, I would consider it overpowered from what I've seen out there and how these people are hitting these contested shots. To use on a day-to-day basis, I may not say, I'd probably say, nah, you don't want to use this every single day if you're limited in your badge distribution. But if you have a high amount of badges out there, then you may want to consider the clutch shooter badge. The next badge on the list is corner specialist, again for my player. Noticeable difference. I tried rearranging these badges plenty of times, and we were going through the process yesterday because I put on this new jump shot that's working highly effective for me. So we tried to switch off corner specialist and also catch and shoot, and I had to revert back, but I tried switching it to hot zone hunter, to green machine, and all these things, DEADEYE, and it just didn't work out for my player. So I had to put corner specialist back on. And if you guys are trying to get catch and shoot animations in the corner, a lot of people say you don't need corner specialist if you got catch and shoot. I tried without corner specialist. I put it on DEADEYE with my catch and shoot. Totally different. When I switched it back to corner specialist, I started hitting again. Before that, no greens. After putting corner specialist on with catch and shoot, I was getting the greens in the corner. Now, that's for my build. I know a ton of you guys are goats out there. You can spam up GOAT in the comment section. I know you guys are great out there. I see how y'all shooting off the step backs, off the dribble, even leaning shots are hitting again. So corner specialist is one of those badges that you guys may want to consider, especially if you guys are not a pure shooting build or some type of build that has a high amount of shooting attributes. DEADEYE. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's for the Christmas noobs that are about to come on, but a lot of people have been hitting contested shots out there. So DEADEYE may be a huge factor in these scenarios that I'm experiencing out there. Maybe if you equip it at a higher level, you're going to be hitting. I tried equipping it on silver just yesterday during live stream. You guys can check that out. We live stream every single day on Twitch, so you guys can come through, say what up. Matter of fact, we're going to start live streaming again on YouTube, so you can check us out right here on YouTube. Join our Discord and find out when we go live. All of those links will be in the description below. But DEADEYE is just one of those badges, man. I can't say it's an absolute must or whether it's overpowered. I know for my build, I couldn't use it, but I'm not a pure shooting build, or I don't have a high amount of shooting attributes. I have a fairly like middle to high amount of shooting attributes. I wouldn't say I'm goated with my shooting. So for my particular build, DEADEYE is just one of those badges that I cannot equip, but I'm not saying trust me. I know a lot of you guys would probably love to have DEADEYE equipped. So you might want to just test it out, take it to the park, see how it works for you with your gaming style. Trust and believe, use this with your gaming style. If you're a player that you only shoot when you're absolutely open, then you may not need the DEADEYE badge. But if you're a player that's off the dribble and you're more inclined to take contested shots, then DEADEYE is probably a badge for you. The next badge on the list, deep fades. Now, unfortunately, man, I haven't seen many people use deep fades effectively. I would count this badge as underrated because we have another, like I mentioned my homie Tanner earlier in the video. Tanner uses fades. He has a mid-range specialist if I'm not mistaken, and he uses these fades effectively. He gets into the post and he'll hit you. We're talking about a smaller mid-range specialist, not no post scorer out there, but he activates this deep phase badge, and I'm not 100% sure what level he has this badge on, but I know he is hitting these fading shots. So you guys may want to consider deep fades. I would probably count this badge as underrated, so give it a try and see what you guys think. The next badge on the list, difficult shots. Is difficult shots back after patch 8? Now, I have a homie Shmaine. He had a tough time starting out the year. He hit the lab, he was working, he got a new player. Now he's pulling these shots and he's taking these leaning shots in the corner that are greening consistently. So you guys may want to consider these leaning shots again and equipping the difficult shots. Now, I would tell you guys what some people are saying about difficult shots, and I'm hearing there's some hearsay that says you don't necessarily need the difficult shots badge, and corner specialist is good enough to take your leaning shots. As from my experience and what I've seen, leaning shots at the top of the key and the wing area are not hitting, but if you get toward the corner and the baseline areas and you take a leaning shot, you have way more of a chance to hit this leaning shot. I will also say that in Pro-Am the other day, we ran up against a pure shot creator that was completely dominant. Pure shot creator, yeah, he looked like he was a 6'3" type of pure shot creator, and he was almost unguardable, but he was taking leaning shots not from the top of the perimeter but around the foul line area. So that's something that you guys may want to consider when you're thinking about difficult shots. Whether it's overpowered, underrated, or completely useless, I can't count difficult shots out as completely useless. It may be underrated after patch 8. You know, it was goated in the beginning of the year, but after patch 8 it may be underrated. Flexible release reduces the penalty suffered from missed time jump shot releases. Flexible release unfortunately doesn't seem to be operating as it should after patch 8. Some people deem it as one of the worst badges in the game. I don't know how you guys feel about flexible release. I never equip it on my two-way playmaking slasher. I don't feel it necessary, although I may give it some more time and see if flexible release will work for my particular build. But as of right now, I would count this as a badge that I wouldn't equip. Completely useless, I can't really 100% say in my opinion what flexible release is as far as being completely useless, but it's possible it might be one of those hidden gems. So give it a try and let me know what you guys think. I would love to hear your feedback. I may consider highlighting these comments after we get this series done, highlighting comments and feedback from you guys. So please consider leaving your thoughts and feedback on these badges. The next one on the list is Green Machine, highly regarded by almost the entire 2K community. Green Machine is probably considered, I would say it's an overpowered badge. I can't equip it on my build only because I need some other badges to accompany Green Machine to help me hit more shots. If I had these high amount of badges to distribute, then I know I would absolutely go with Green Machine. So in my opinion, Green Machine is overpowered, and it can be underrated because almost the entire community highly regards the Green Machine, and is definitely probably not ever gonna be a completely useless badge. Hot Start, I have a homie DJ. He's a shooting, glass cleaning lock, and I saw what he can do with this badge. He highly regards the Hot Start badge, and I can say from what I've seen in gameplay, playing with him as well and a bunch of other players, Hot Start seems to work really well. But the only downside to Hot Start is that you have to hit your first shot. So if you don't hit, see, it says improves player shooting ability after making the first shot until a miss occurs. So what happens with Hot Start is that if you miss your first shot, then the badge is completely useless the rest of the game. So I don't know if this is like that for Pro-Am or Rec, but I know it's like that for Park. Your badge is completely useless, so you basically wasting badge points if you miss your first shot in the game. But it is really effective if you hit your first shot and you got Green Machine accompanied with Quick Draw and Range Extender and things of that nature. So if you got a bunch of other badges that are accompanying Hot Start, that are able to accompany Hot Start, then Hot Start may be effective for you guys. I would probably label Hot Start as underrated, as a lot of people aren't talking about the Hot Start badge, or there isn't a lot of information out there about how effective Hot Start can be for your player. Hot Zone Hunter, the up and down roller coaster with the Hot Zone Hunter has been quite unfortunate. It was one of the most highly regarded badges and overpowered badges in NBA 2K20 a few patches ago, but as of patch 8, people still deem the Hot Start badge as a necessary badge to have, but it just doesn't have the same quality and effects that it once had before. Hot Zone Hunter is probably, after patch 8, considered underrated, as a lot of people were downing the Hot Zone Hunter badge a few patches ago. As of right now, it seems like people are re-equipping Hot Zone Hunter, so you guys definitely should consider equipping the Hot Zone Hunter and see how it works out for you. Ice and Veins. I've never equipped Ice and Veins. I'm goated with my free throws. I probably hit like 90 to 95% of my free throws. Very rarely do I miss a free throw. Put on that Michael. If you're having trouble hitting free throws out there, put on the Michael Jordan release. I don't know if there's some other releases that you guys have out there, but Michael Jordan is goated for free throws. Ice and Veins, completely useless in NBA 2K20. I don't even know why it's in the game. With the right free throw jump shot animation, you are good to go. Pick and Popper. If you have enough badges to distribute, and if your game style calls for pick and pop animations or pick and pop type of game style, then you may want to consider equipping Pick and Popper, because it'll elevate the shot percentage for an attempt taking off a pick or fade situation. So anything that boosts your percentage, you want to consider equipping, but you gotta have enough badge points to distribute in order to consider Pick and Popper. You can't just get rid of Green Machine and Hot Zone Hunter to pick up Pick and Popper. That wouldn't necessarily make all the sense in the world, because you're limiting your situational based shooting. Pick and Popper would be a great and probably underrated badge if you have enough badge points to distribute among shooting badges. The next badge on the list, Pump Fake Maestro. Man, oh man. Everybody knows there was a demigod glitch going on way back when, and I will say, I have to say, I've never done the demigod glitch. Okay, I have never done it, but I tested out Pump Fake Maestro game after game just to kind of see if it could be possibly effective, and in my opinion, Pump Fake Maestro is completely useless. If you guys feel differently, if you're goated with Pump Fake Maestro, please let me know and let the other people in the comment section know as well if Pump Fake Maestro works for you. But throughout my gameplay, and we're not talking about just how I play or the players I play with, I'm talking about what I see. When I'm playing these games and I'm on my live stream, I'm always analyzing what's going on. If this dude is doing this, then what badge could he have possibly equipped to make this type of move happen? Pump Fake Maestros, I have, well, as far as pump fakes and shooting after pump fakes, I've never seen somebody just overpower with pump fakes and shooting after pop. I've just never seen it. So in my opinion, Pump Fake Maestro completely useless. Quick Draw goes without saying, hands down. I'm sure if you're shooting out there, everybody knows Quick Draw is an absolute must. One of the first badges that you should probably consider when you're grinding your badges out there. You create a new player trying to grind out and you want to compete out there in the park, rec, or pro-am, then you want to consider Quick Draw as one of the first badges that you upgrade. The way in which 2K20 has lowered the speed without this badge is almost detrimental to shooting. You can barely get the ball up in enough time without getting a contest if you do not have the quick draw badge. So in my opinion, quick draw is probably the most overpowered shooting badge in the game, and the reason why I'm saying that is because if you take off quick draw, then it I wouldn't say it renders your other badges useless, but it puts a huge hit on your other badges if you take quick draw completely off. I don't know of any shooter out there that goes out to play in a park, rec, or pro-am game without the quick draw badge equipped. So in my opinion, highly overpowered badge, because without it, it affects your whole game. Range extender. Range extender has done me extremely well with this two-way slashing playmaker. Without range extender, I probably wouldn't hit any threes. I equipped range extender on silver. From silver to gold, I've been adjusting it from silver to gold in recent days, and from silver to gold there isn't much of a difference, so I dropped it. I had it on gold for a few days, I dropped it back down to silver, and it seems to be working effectively at silver. I get enough greens that's suitable for me. You guys may have different standards out there, but suitable for me, my gaming style, and my type of player. Range extender on silver works pretty well, and I don't think you can consider this badge underrated, because I think the community highly regards range extender. If you're operating without range extender, please let me know in the comment section below. I would love to hear from you, because I don't know of many shooters out there that don't make this one of their go-to badges. The next badge on the list, slippery off ball, strengthens the player's ability to get open off ball. A lot of people highly regard this badge, but matter of fact, I like to say that it has mixed results throughout the community. That's what I will say, because there's a lot of people that highly regard it. A lot of people say that it's completely useless. You don't need slippery off ball. I've never equipped it, only because I'm not a pure shooting type of build, but from what I've seen out there, this is what I go. Now I am a point guard and I do have high passing IQ, so I'm always looking to get people open or watching how they get open off ball. Slippery off ball, it's one of those badges that let's say you have I can't even say a slow amount of speed or a slow amount of acceleration, but it's just one of those badges that you have to go through trial and error with for your particular build and see if you see any changes. I've never played with people who equip slippery off ball, that's what I can say. So maybe I would probably say an underrated badge, because the community has such mixed results in its entirety about the slippery off ball badge. So maybe it's an underrated badge, and it depends on the type of build that you're using and trying to equip this badge on. A steady shooter. Now what I found interesting during the demigod glitch that I had never ever done in my life, steady shooter seems to be one of those badges that operate on all areas of the court. So I would go to the rack, and let's say a cross key score or a dream shake type of animation, and steady shooter would activate consistently on layups. So steady shooter, if you guys don't know, is not only necessary, it's not only used for shooting. You can use, so for instance, I'm not a shooting 100% like shooting type of build, so it's one of those badges that I got my eye on. You know, a lot of people give steady shooter a bad name, but it's one of those badges that I may just one day say, you know what, we're gonna go in on steady shooter and put this thing to the test. But during the demigod glitch that I never ever did, trust and believe, steady shooter was activating quite often. So you may just because a badge activates doesn't mean that it's absolutely useful. That's what I will say. But steady shooter is just highly active. That's what I'll say about steady shooter. It's a highly active badge. Whether it's overpowered, underrated, or completely useless, you have to run tests and see how it works out for your build. The next badge on the list is tireless shooter. Tireless shooter, I think a lot of people say it doesn't work. Tireless shooter doesn't work, but any badge that improves your shooting percentage while you're tired. So let's say you're a player out there that you just go and you're playing majority rec pro-am and you never waste energy. You just go and you sit in the corner and wait for your point guard to set you up for a shot. Then you don't need tireless shooter on your player. But if you're a point guard out there, a shooting type of point guard that you want to kind of dribble your way and create a shot, dribble your way into an open shot, then tireless shooter may be effective for you, because you run greater chances of being fatigued when you go to pull up that shot. And this year, more than any other year, 2K has done well to show the effectiveness on your player, whether it's like you're shooting or you're laying the rock up, grabbing a rebound, going up off a rebound like a putback. You're always, if you run the risk of, like, if you have low amount of energy, your player's gonna show it out there. If you don't do your Gatorade drills, your player's gonna show it out there. So badges like tireless shooter and tireless defender are probably beneficial for those players that find themselves fatigued on the court and still want to be effective. Volume shooter, the once broken badge in previous versions of NBA 2K. This badge boosts your shot percentages as shot attempts accrue throughout the game. So unlike Hot Start, volume shooter, you just need to take a shot. So you just need to have a shot attempt. As soon as you have a shot attempt, volume shooter is supposed to boost your shot percentages. Now, from what I understand, volume shooter is not as effective as it's supposed to be. But maybe, just maybe, if you guys kind of consider this, if you consider volume shooter with clutch shooter, badges that, you know, people do not necessarily highly regard in NBA 2K20. But if you consider volume shooter with clutch shooter, you know, clutch shooter is a badge that helps you hit shots toward the end of games. So if this badge helps you hit shots toward the end of games, and let's say you put on volume shooter and you miss your few, you know, like your first few shots in the beginning of the game, being that you had those attempts, this badge accompanied with clutch shooter may be beneficial. Just some thoughts to help get you, you know, the wheels turning. So volume shooter, whether it's overpowered, underrated, or completely useless, I would probably say it's underrated right now, and you may want to consider your badge distribution if you want. If you absolutely want to equip volume shooter, then you may want to consider your badge distribution and what badge could complement the volume shooter badge. Well, guys, again, these were my thoughts on the shooting badges for NBA 2K20 after patch 8. You guys, please help me create dialogue in the comment section below and let me know your thoughts on these badges, because I may make a video wrapping up the entire series and highlight the comments from you guys, your thoughts and your experiences using these badges on NBA 2K20 after patch 8. I hope you guys are having a great holiday season, and I'm gonna be live streaming today. Come out, check me out. Don't forget to join our Discord. The links will be in the description below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please consider subscribing to our channel, as we're gonna have a ton of NBA 2K20 content coming your way. And if you want to stay connected with me and the All City Live TV community, then join us on Twitch and Discord. The links will be in the description below. Easy, y'all.